St. Clair Saints varsity esports team, of course, being St. Clair College, Zuckelman School of Business and Information Technology, PC Outlet, Tim Hortons, St. Clair's SRC, and the St. Clair College Alumni Association. Thank you for supporting us here on the St. Clair Saints varsity esports squad. Game 5 is looking like it's going to start out with a bang, and that's a huge pickup here for Siri, or for Junie rather. Does pick up a shotgun right away, but unfortunately does not get the jump necessary. Siri's going to dive on in, instantly gets himself taken down. They are going to be able to take out the player that did take him out, at least for the moment. It was a very close call, but not quite going down, not this time. Keep Siri in the game. And at least there for Siri, he was able to get himself pretty much back up to 75%. So, in all honesty, solid start here for the St. Clair squad. Unfortunate there that first initial shotgun blast there from Junie did not necessarily make as much contact as he would have wanted to. But Siri basically sacrificing himself, getting knocked but not getting killed, was enough for the distraction for Lasix and Junie to finish the job. So that will do this time by, but the battle very well might not be finished here. Maybe some teammates of the player that did get fragged out early looking to maybe get some revenge here on the St. Clair squad. Couple shots back and forth, but Saints keeping themselves healthy for at least a little bit longer. Do hear some sizzling buildings, however, so it might be getting heated up in just a moment. Siri does have the high ground, but somebody is coming from the other side, looking to maybe get the flank here onto him. See if we can hop on over to Siri's point of view in just a second. Where in the world is this player? Lasix is trying to chase him down, actually. Junie is getting targeted a little bit, nearly going down, hanging on by literally 2 health. Siri has been knocked again. Did they get the player? However, they did. Lasix did finish the job there. So, could possibly pick Siri back up. There's going to be the health kit available here for Junie, and actually going to need it more than Siri in this case. 25 health compared to 2 health. Junie's going to take this one every time, for sure. The action might not be done just yet, but actually, never mind. That is going to be Siri driving around, going off to the beach, farm up this section instead. Junie going to be able to make his way back out and take a small sigh of relief, knowing that that team has been wiped. Saints do end up cleaning things up. Now they can actually farm this place out. But they're going to have to move sometime soon. The storm is right around the corner. Yeah, they definitely get the opportunity to breathe now. Lots of time for them to make something happen. Load up. Don't stress. Let's just get to that end game. See if we can get ourselves maybe a better finish than 20 this time by. Now, Junie might have disconnected, unfortunately, there, so we're going to hop on over to Siri's side of things. We'll see in a second. Unfortunately for Junie, it would not be the first time that he has had a DC happen for himself in the middle of a series. Probably not the first time that it's happened during a Game 5 as well, oddly enough. Never mind, looks like Junie is in fact back in the game. Unfortunately, may have just had to step away for just a second. But at least it was early enough into the game that he can get away with that with no big deal. So all is good there. Yeah, had a little bit of excitement early, but ever since then, a little bit quiet here for the Saints going into this next one. Now that a couple of the other games have completed, they are in the top 50, but they did drop down a good handful of spots. Those last 2 rounds of going down early, definitely going to mess with them just a little bit. Now here, chest opening, that's where Siri is at, just causing a mess down in this Coral Castle area. First time getting to actually see this area. It actually looks pretty cool, to be completely honest. This is probably the most open spot on the map compared to how it used to be. But a very, very nice location. Gonna find themselves a couple pieces of utility, get themselves a shotgun as well. Always good in that regard. NPC, you have anything good for me? You give him a fishy. And the action's now underway here this time by Saints going up against an NPC, however. Kind of caught me by surprise a little bit. Thought they were just going to have themselves a friendly little chat, but not going to be the case this time. Take them down, get themselves some good loot, find themselves another chest as well. A couple of additional resources in the bank. Catching out one of these boats, traveling on through. Some decent damage getting put out here from Siri, a couple hundred rather. Not onto a player, going to be strictly hitting the boat this time. There's a good find actually for Junie. Gets himself all topped off and good to go. First aid med 100. Has that shield potion right there as well. Shall do the trick. It's the first time we're going to be seeing the Saints go up against a little bit of wildlife here. First time the wolves come into play. Of course, collecting their meat is basically like a fast bandage. It doesn't heal for a lot, but you can heal pretty quickly in that regard. And then animal bones in general are also a crafting material for some of these weapon upgrades later down the line as well. So being able to pick up a couple is definitely a good thing there for the Saints. Well, the silence seems to be broken here right around the craggy cliffs. It looks like another team seems to have gotten a jump here onto some of the Saints members. A couple of them right above Junie. Where is Siri in this situation? Still rather healthy. Trying to make this flame bolt work from below, from above. Does not matter. Try to set those buildings on fire. Of course, they have themselves basically dead center here. Good positioning overall. If they want to set up the fort, they absolutely can. Probably have themselves a little bit of time before the next time they really have to move. The storm, of course, still moving in with about 1 minute and 20 seconds still left to go in that regard. Spotting out a couple of the players somewhere nearby. Siri trying to make a mess out of things. We have Junie and Lasix right behind them as well. Siri definitely hoping for a fight to go his way the last couple. Granted, he's been able to stay alive, but was constantly getting himself knocked down. Has that player completely pinned in, but the player does end up going back in, as one of his teammates was right behind him. So keeping him blocked out, whipping the wall out, shutting it down for at least a moment. Can see here from Junie's point of view, has the other player right on the other side. Big shot against Junie, however, bringing him to next to nothing, but he's going to keep himself alive. Going to have to try and retreat and get himself healed up. In the meantime, Siri still in the front lines, taking some heat for himself as well. Shield's getting rocked. His health is getting rocked. He's nearly going to go down. Another fight not going to go into his favor, and there's the squad right there in front of him. I don't know how the Saints are going to be able to even get there in time. I don't think they're going to be able to. Sure enough, going to look for the finisher. Putting on a little bit of a show here before they finish the job. Dylan going to find himself the elimination this time by. Where is Junie, however, in all this? Is still near Lasix, but of course, other than the shields that Junie currently has, does not have much else in regards to his health. Since Siri went down, basically Junie and Lasix fallen back, trying to keep themselves a little bit longer here in this game. Still about 50 players left in this lobby. Still a lot of work to do, just about 25 teams or so this time by. Getting closer and closer to that late game engagements where Saints usually tend to thrive and manage to get themselves maybe 1 or 2 extra eliminations, but it's definitely going to be difficult to try to go into any of these gunfights. Lasix not exactly the worst of conditions. That being said, though, with Junie running out of health healing materials, makes things a little bit difficult for him. He does manage to find some stray bandages, going to patch himself up for at least a little bit. Take anything compared to being sat there with about 8 health, so definitely going to take that one. Excuse me. Yeah, much better. After all that healing now, being able to get himself to about 75%. So this is much better going into this late game scenario. Right as the storm is about to start constantly shifting back and forth over and over again. So let's gotta see if they can hang on for dear life. Looks like Lasix may have found himself a small little engagement for at least the smallest of seconds, but able to get himself back into the swing of things. Of course, sticking here with Junie, going to try and make the move. Of course, Storm ready to make its move as well within the next 3 seconds. Craggy Cliffs are about to become painted in red, basically, with the way things are going here. About 42 players now left here in this game. Saints taking their time, making their move, trying to get themselves into the high ground. so far they've been able to hang on to this pretty well uncontested. Nobody's going to be up here considering it was all in Storm. I say that, there was, sure enough, one person ready and waiting with a shotgun. Making things a little bit difficult here for Junie on the way up. Out in the open for just a second, and it's a second is all it's going to take to absolutely mow down Junie, which means we're going to be left with just Lasix to try and make this play. I'm going to ride along with him right here, right now. Last player alive on the squad. 25 players. Man, that sure changed quickly. We were at 40-something just a second ago. Left here in this game. And I like that. Even though the players may be knocked down, still trying to help Lasix, still trying to make callouts moving forward into this game. Still keeping himself safe as of right now. Shotgun shot, not going to find anybody at the moment. And he walks right into the one guy, Mr. Anonymous here, with the shotgun to the face. Going to finish off the Saints this time by going to get them positioned in 7th place in regards to that round, bringing them to a total of 164. We'll take a look and see where exactly that places them momentarily. Actually, double check, see if it updated right here, right now. It'd be nice if it was nice and quick. Might not necessarily be the case, however. But we can still take a rough guess. It would put them back into the top 20 if things, excuse me, if things stay the same here. So far, not a bad run. You can definitely tell the new season's maybe thrown a loop into their standard strategy, or maybe some teams have just straight up tried to contest their strategy a little bit from the past couple of weeks. Considering that area of the map was pretty much left alone, like, it's not too bad the Saints keep on falling there, but unfortunately, seeming to have a little bit of a harder time those mid to late game scenarios. Unfortunately, that game right there for Siri just did not exactly go into his favor in the slightest. Pretty much every engage ended up with him on his knees on the floor. Granted, his team was there constantly to back him up all the way until the late game, which was just extremely difficult to do. I don't care how good you are, but you're trying to outbuild somebody while also keeping your teammate protected. That is extremely difficult. That being said, of course, while we do await our next game, we're already matchmaking right here, right now, so it shouldn't be too much longer. Do want to give a big shout out, of course, to the matches that we do have later on coming up this week. Of course, tomorrow we have ourselves 3 matches.